Hello, traders, and welcome to Empire Algorithmic Trading's weekly review. I am Matt, he's JC, and we are here to bring you all the latest and greatest of the action that happened last week. Jace, tell them how we do it.
We use the volume weighted average price as our leading indicator. It's pretty easy. It just tells us if buyers or sellers are in control. And we have quite a week to review. So it's going to be a little busy one. So let's get right to it, shall we?
Yeah, Vwapvision's weekly review stock talk.
Well, Matt, we've got a lot of work to do. It was quite the week. We hit a green zone and we had a somewhat questionable follow through, but then it really came to life on Friday. So pretty exciting. If it doesn't get your blood flowing, I don't know what will. This is the good stuff, right? So now when you look, it looks a little extended, but once we get looking through some charts, and then we're going to come back and we're going to bring this chart back up. You might have a little bit of a different view. But in the meantime, we got a green zone. We had a nice strong follow through. Let's see. Same thing with the Nasdaq composite. Nice strong follow through. Let's see. Oh, let's go back for our Spotify listeners. The S&P 500 closed up 1.4%, almost 1.5% on Friday. Nasdaq composite up 1.5%. Small caps up 2.2%, and then the mid caps up 2.3%. That is vital.
Wow,
This is important moving forward. Those are nice,
let's
strong
go.
gains. Yes,
Yeah.
let's get it rolling, right? We do have a little bit of overhead resistance still, both on the
hmm
NASDAQ and on the small caps and on the mid caps, but they all cleared intermediate resistance. The NASDAQ cleared its resistance from its recent peak. IWM cleared resistance from previous highs and previous lows, and then same thing with the mid caps. So very positive. Now, however, bonds sold off pretty significantly in the last 2 days of the week. So that could be a rally killer. There's a couple of things that we're seeing risk moving forward, right? There's probably going to be a test. It's likely, but it's not foretold, right? Don't wait for a test. But it's very likely we're going to see a test. But also, we don't want to see the bonds start continuing to sell off. That will
Yeah.
kill this rally. So I was kind of hoping we'd be on a little bond watch, but we're right back to it. Those are some
Well,
two pretty ugly days for the bond market right there.
but I will say, the bottom of that did kind of bounce off that little support line there, so that could be seen as positive.
You're right. You're right. You're right. There's a little bit of a spinning top right at support, so that's a good sign. It shows indecision, shows buyers and sellers are coming in at the same rate. So that could be seen as a positive. Thanks for bringing me back down from the edge there, Matt. I appreciate that. Yeah. VIX is continuing to come down, right? That's exactly what we want to see. That's exactly
Yep.
what you expect to see when the market rallies, right? The VIX will come down. So we're getting into get some good stuff there. All in all, the charts looking good, right? The S&P's trading up. It's basically hitting new all-time high territory on a VWAP basis. The Nasdaq is getting close to its all-time, and then same thing with the smalls and the mids. Looking forward, looking into some individual stocks, looking really, really good. The green arrow here is when the stock flashed our buy signal. The white arrow is when we tell our paid subscribers, hey, this is a stock to watch for tomorrow. It's set up to break out. We then, in our arrow review, will go over through and signify all the good things about the chart or the bad things about the chart, whether it's looking like a good setup or not. I was bullish on Carvana. I passed on it because I only wanted to buy one stock and I ended up buying Roblox. But again, this is a pretty good setup. It was a good breakout. Same thing with Zscaler. We talked about Zscaler multiple times. It tried breaking out a couple times during the red zone. But again, the white arrow is when we tell our subscribers, hey, look at this stock for tomorrow. And again, Zscaler has continued to move quite well.
And
Same
hey,
thing with,
Jace,
yeah, dude.
for those who are listening, can you put some numbers behind those white arrow, green arrow, so those that
Oh,
aren't
yeah,
watching
yeah,
us can,
sure.
can understand?
Yeah, sure. Carvana, White Arrow, it was trading at 220. On the breakout day, it closed at 235 and it's currently at 257. Same thing with Zscaler. White Arrow was 210. Green arrow close was 215, and it's currently at 230. Argan. This is going to take a while if we want to rattle off some numbers. So we got a lot
Let's
of charts to
go.
look at. Argan, again, similar, tried to shake us out, but it had a nice strong bounce off the VWAP. It traded as low as 142, closed at 153. The breakout day was a close of 151, and it's currently at 163. Landbridge, same nice. This one I wasn't so sure about, but it's proven me wrong, right?
Yeah.
Breakout price is 72. It's currently at 78. Paymentus, I liked Paymentus. I bought some Paymentus. I'm a little mad at my broker because I only got filled two of the shares that I put an order in for. So I
No.
might have to do a little research on that and find out why I only got a very small fill. But anyhow, its breakout price was 32.04, its close price, and it's currently at 34.56.
All
Eaton
right.
Pharmaceuticals. This one, we talked about this one. This was a nice, clear downtrend break, a nice, strong break above the VWAP. Again, the day before is when we notify our Patreon subscribers. It was at 1548. It closed at 1579. It's currently at 1734. Palantir, another strong breakout of Palantir, closed at
Oh, I love Palantir.
107.78. That was your favorite stock. That's one,
It
and I
is.
still have. I bought it back when it first flashed its buy signal for us. Let's see, I bought it on this day here actually. It's 78.98, but it flashed a second buy signal 107.78. It's currently 124.28, hitting all-time high territory.
Woo.
Shopify. Shopify, we notified everybody on 425. It broke out on 428 at 98.57. It tested that breakout, but it did not close below the sell signal. I think it closed down. Let me move my little. Yeah, it closed down 4.6%. So that's well within the 6% threshold for your initial stop loss. It
Yeah.
found support at the VWAP and has since rallied back up. It's currently at 99.25. I very well could take a position on this one. I did take a position on Hood. It tried shaking out a little bit after its earnings report, but what I like about it is three successive lows: low of 46.18, 46.53, 46.71. Opened it as low, rallied up throughout the day. So I did take a position on this on Friday, but its breakout price was at 49.45, and it's currently at 48.59. But it's holding up. Not only is it holding up above the VWAPs, but after that earnings volatility, it appears to be running a little bit higher.
Well, so then real
BioLife's,
quick on that,
yeah,
do you think it's just a little bit of a shakeout and we're hoping that that thing's just gonna
yes, that's exactly what I'm anticipating. A lot of times after the breakouts, especially if the VWAPs hold, and you get a nice recovery after a big volume earnings shakeout, and they tend to recover, they just go. So that's why I took a position on it. I'm hoping I'm right. We'll see. I'll just cut my losses if I'm wrong. I mean, that's all you do.
keep those losses
You
tight? It's all gravy,
Yeah,
baby.
cut your losses, yeah, and move it forward. BioLife Solutions. We let everybody know about this one on 423. I'm sorry, 424. It broke out on 425 at 24.95. It tested the breakout, which happens quite often, and then it ran up 25.27. So that's where it's at right now. Dave, this one hurts. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie about that. Dave, I bought on 429. I bought on its breakout. We let everybody know. The day before, we bought it on the breakout at 95.22. It shook me out the next day, and I'm going to bring up the 5-minute chart just to show you how brutal this is. I bought it at the end of the day, pretty much right at this range, around
No.
94. Gap down, okay, not a problem. It kind of rallied out throughout the day. I was letting it run its course, and then about right here, it was about 3:30. The stock was down about 3% on the day, and normally when a stock is down 3%, it doesn't recover. That's my 1 day sell signal is 2.5%. So I took the loss, I sold it, and literally 10 minutes later, the stock just jumped up. It rallied 3% in the last 15 minutes to close barely down on the day. So, and then as you can see, it's just gone up north ever since. rallied up a solid 8.6% on Friday. I saw that. I'm like, oh,
Uh,
you're killing me. You're killing me, man. But that's what,
the
I was following my rules,
the
right?
bull sharks were waiting in the
Yeah.
water for you. As soon
Oh
as you
God,
sold, they took your shares and ran.
man, I'm telling you, I was looking by the end of the day, I brought it back up and I was like, you got it. Now I could have bought it back, right? That's a flaw on me. I should have, could have, would have, but I didn't, right? And but anyhow, long story short, if you did what you should do and not sell before the end of the day, then you would have been able to withstand that volatility. It closed down barely, I think, less than 1%, and now it's up a nice 8.6% on Friday.
Wow.
Buy
You,
point was 95.22, and it's at 104.72. Roadblocks, however, I did not get shaken out on roadblocks, and I feel good about
woo.
that one. So, as upset I am about Kava, I'm excited about roadblocks. Roadblocks was up 7.3% on Friday. Reported earnings, had a nice strong run after earnings, and nice big back-to-back gap ups. Kind of running away from us there, but Roblox, we let everybody know on 423. It broke out on 424 at 65.69 is when it hit the official buy signal, and it's currently at 74. Spotify Tech, same thing. We notified everybody the day before. It broke out at 605.95. It tested when it reported earnings. It tested pretty hard, got a little volatile, but it only closed down, I think, 4%, a little over 4% from its buy price. So well within the 6% stop loss point. Recovered, and we talked about how it recovered all of it, all the gap down and then some,
Wow.
and then it continues to move higher. It's currently at 644. Amphenol APH. This one I wasn't so sure about. Has a little bit of a flat top, had a little bit of a rising low. I don't like those setups. However, on the breakout day, it broke the pattern. It shook out and broke out all in the same day.
Wow.
Uh, and if I remember correctly, we talked about that, about how it reset that pattern just in the morning and
Yep.
then closed it by the afternoon. And then back-to-back gap ups. Rallied up 2.58%. It's at 80.66. The breakout price was 76.95. So we're seeing some very strong, very continuations in our breakouts. Strong, made big difference from what we saw. And you can see that in Catalyst Pharmaceuticals, right? Catalyst tried breaking out way back here, had a nice follow through, very strong follow through up 5%, but just couldn't maintain the momentum.
Mm.
Flashed a sell signal, got a little volatile, set up again, rallied up again, a nice 11%, but just couldn't maintain that momentum. Came back down, tested these lows again, and now it's trying to rally again. We'll see if this momentum holds. Now we're in a green zone, completely different market environment. Wouldn't surprise me to see Catalyst continue to run higher, especially since it had this wicked shakeout here. It was setting up, running strong, got pushed hard, hit hard when the market was making new lows. It did not hit a new low against the market and has since just run back higher.
Real quick on that
ARPX,
catalyst, can you go
yeah,
back to that catalyst just for a second? What I love about looking at this chart, it is a perfect example of why this algorithm is what it is. When you get in, get out. It's not about grabbing a stock and holding on to it for 3 years and watching it raise 40%. It's about taking 2%, taking 4%, taking the little chunks of profit now instead of just holding on to it for forever. And I love that about this algorithm.
yeah, it's you're right. And one of the things, like for example, with Roblox, this orange arrow here, that's my sell. I sold, I bought here, I took some profits, and what that did was that took my stop loss from 65 down to 57 is my new break even. And so I can have that stock ride through, I can let it ride that volatility, and I can hold that out for some longer term long gains. Once
Mhm.
it breaks some of the trends that I'm looking for, and I hasn't quite found its stop point. It might be a 10-day average, it might be the 20-day, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of run. But what that does is that decreases your risk and lets you take
Mhm.
advantage of these early moves. Let that sucker ride out. And like you said, you pop off, you collect that 10, 5, 8% gainers, gives you some downside protection, and then you can give a little bit of room to ride that 10-day, ride that 20-day, ride that 50-day average. And then in the right market, you're going to get some really wicked gains. And what that does is Catalyst, for example, it ran up from 23 up 11% to 25, right? You're taking some profits
Yep.
on that. Let's say you sell half at 10%. That gives you a 10% protection on the downside, right? Which puts you
Mhm.
way down here. And the stock never broke your break even point. So you could
Yeah.
ride that volatility out and now you're back up and you're looking good. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about, or you could just straight up just sell it, right? Take your full
Like me,
10%.
you can do what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
In, out, in, out. I
In
don't like
out.
the extra little things, you know?
Yeah, yeah, you could take that 10% and compound it. I mean, shoot, you start compounding those gains. 10% gain in 11 days is 1.5 thousand%, right? So, uh,
Hmm.
those are that's another way to do it. I like to let some of these ride a little bit, buy large positions and then take those profits down, let those smaller positions hold, do that over and over again, build a nice little portfolio that way. I have a couple different portfolio setups that I try. Um, ARGX, Arginex, another same thing. Breakout buy price was at 629. It's currently at 649. Axon, it did the three and go. It tried to
Ugh,
break out quick three right at the VWAP and then a quick three rebound. Its breakout price was at 603.78. It's currently at 628.
beauty.
Tarsus. Now, this one, I brought this one up for the simple reason of this is why we don't go jumping early, right? And you don't buy
Mhm.
in anticipation. Tarsus was trying to break out. We put it on the watch list as a potential breakout. It tried, but it closed. It gapped, or I mean, it opened, rallied up, and then just sold off hard. And then that selling continued throughout the day on Friday. So an attempted breakout, clear failure, never flashed the buy signal, so we never would have taken a position. TFPM. Back in the red zone, it flashed the buy signal down at 1770. I bring this one up because I want to show you this is what we're going to expect to see from a lot of our breakouts now that we're in a green zone, is this kind of action. A nice strong run up, a test of an average. I'm not quite sure where that is. Maybe this low here. No, not quite. But anyhow, a quick test. There's probably an average there, and then a nice run up. It did flash the sell signal. The original buy signal was at 1770. It flashed the algo sell signal at 2026. So nice red zone breakout there. Guardant Health. This one was looking really good. A little bit of earnings volatility, but it has yet to flash an actual sell signal. Has yet to flash any
Okay.
warning signs. So this was a really nice looking breakout. Clear lower lows or lower highs, clear higher lows, set a higher low as the market was making lower lows. So that's a bullish sign. Continue to rally up. Cleared the breakout. Flashed the buy signal. We'll see. I'm hoping this earnings volatility hold. I just like these long term when they're
Hmm.
breaking these long term downtrends.
Hmm.
These tend to be some pretty good long term winners. So again, though, I mean, you could have if you would have set an early profit target of say 8 or 7%. You've already got your profit out of it. You can ride this volatility out, or you can just sell your whole position at 5 and 7%. Uh,
Yeah.
and let that thing ride. So even though it's a little volatile now, it already did flash some profit signals. So a nice breakout there. Same thing with Mercado Libre. Broke out at 2118. It's currently at 2280. Halozyme. This one is setting up. It broke out, flashed a little buy signal, found or flashed a little sell signal, got a little volatile, and now it's setting up again. So that'll be available for Arrow Review subscribers when that thing actually sets up to break out. ADMA. This one is just. I saw this one. I was like, holy cow, that's almost too tasty. It broke out here originally for us at 1871. Had a nice strong breakout. It sort of had a faulty setup, and we talked about this before about how it had a flat top, rising lows, and it broke that, kind of flushed out, set up again. This one was a very nice clean breakout. You have a nice lower highs. I always get these mixed up. Higher lows and a little wedge pattern right at the VWAP. Broke
Yep.
out of that, tested, and then just off to the races. Well, it's doing it again. So you've got clear, and it's this whole trend is just like that. And then
Goodness
you've got
gracious. Yeah.
That just looks, I'm just looking at that kind of, now this isn't going to be an algorithm. I don't think this will be an algo pickup.
Yeah.
It might because of these three down here,
Yeah.
depending on where the computer reads this volume weighted average price from here.
Yeah.
This might be below that. It could be a three and go. You could have three and then one, two, three. It might
Yeah.
launch it back off again. But man, that one looks pretty. That's a pretty looking chart. And so there you go. Now, looking at all these, a lot of them, when you scan back, looked extended at the time of breakout, right? They
Hmm.
all look extended, and not so much AGX. This one looks a little bit closer, mostly, but quite a few of them are already still running up, right? You take this
Hmm.
VWAP off. Let's just take all the drawings off. You take all the drawings off, there's nothing really there that tells you that's a buy point, right? It just looks extended. It's still trading below its all-time high. It hasn't really set. I mean, it did break this downtrend, which to me is important. But when you add the VWAP to it, that's where you get your buy signals, right? That's where you
Hmm.
get that's where you get our ability to see. That's why we call it VWAP vision. When you add the look of the VWAP to it, it tells you exactly why this is a clear break of the downtrend. It tells you why that's a breakout. Eaton Pharmaceuticals, again, similar thing. A classic chart. You're waiting for this to get up to 18 and then form a handle. We're already taking positions on it and going to wait for that. Same thing with Palantir. You just look back and forth. They all started to look a little extended. Dave, I'm just trying to find one that's really run up, like bio. Now you bring up the S&P 500 and it's the same pattern, right? It looks extended. It looks like it's already trying it just going to need to run into resistance. However, a lot of the stocks that have already looking like that continue to move higher. It would not shock me at all to give the opportunity or not get the opportunity to buy any pullbacks, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not waiting for pullbacks. I'm expecting one. Moving forward, I do think we're going to see, I hope we don't see a test of the lows down here at 4,900, but it wouldn't surprise me to see a test of the VWAP, which is down around 53. It wouldn't surprise me to see a test of the all-time high VWAP around 55. We could also pull up the 20-day moving average. If I remember correctly, that was a test. That was the resistance during the, oops, I don't know why that's not coming up. Is it this one? Oh, there we go. So we could see a test of the 20-day moving average as well. It was resistance during the downtrend. As you can see, it met resistance here at 5,700 back in March. Again, it met resistance at 5,600 in April. Again, resistance a couple of times back in April, again at 5,400. Initially found resistance at 5,300 back in late April, broke above that, tested it last week, right on the green arrow day, right on the breakout day at
Right on Wednesday.
55.69, and continued to rally off of that. So these are going
Springboard,
to be
baby.
these are going to be our test points. So when we see it, this is where we want to see buyers come in and hold, right? We want to see at the 5,500 level on the S&P, possibly the 54, worst case scenario, the 53. So in the meantime, the algo's already set a anchor right here, right at this high. And so the algo is going to give us some pre-warning signs. Hey, it's starting to show some weakness. So we're going to start watching the one-day VWAP. The algo will take care of that for us and just give us some heads up on when it's starting to trade below average. These are the spots we're going to look for bottoms, but we'll get an early heads up on when that selling picks up. If and when that happens, we're going to see some corrections in some of these leading stocks. Some of these stocks that are already running up pretty good are going to test some of these lower levels. All that's going to do is provide us an opportunity to add more shares. So very exciting time, but just don't wait for that. That's the whole point. That's what I
Right.
wanted to show a lot of these stocks that are continuing to move. You don't want to wait for that setup because it's very likely this thing could just continue to move. Then by the time you actually go in, then it's going to catch you in a correction. So let the process work. There's a ton of breakouts that are setting up, and we're going to go through all of those charts for our Patreon subscribers. So subscribe to our Patreon. If you're just watching this on YouTube or if you're just listening on Spotify, subscribe to our Patreon. We're going to go through a lot of the potential breakouts, a lot of stocks that are finding support at previous VWAPs that are just trading just below, that are setting up really, really nice. And then, of course, for our paid subscribers, we have our arrow reviews where we preview the stocks that are set up literally to break out tomorrow. And the other thing we do is we also watch it on the downside. We keep those stocks on the watch list, and the algorithm lets us know, hey, it's starting to trade. We're starting to flash some warning signs, and we let you guys know about that as well. So,
Yeah.
very exciting. Let me stop sharing there. Very
Yeah.
exciting to
So,
be in the market.
well, and a quick little roundup of that, like Jay-Z said, we talk about all of this on Stock Talk. A lot of what we talk about on Stock Talk is, what happened in the market that day. We talk about some of the really exciting and leading charts, but there's a lot of them we don't talk about because that's what we provide when you subscribe on our Patreon is the ones that are like, hey, yeah, this is looking real good. And as JC said, there's essentially two different types of arrows that we give you. We give you the ones that are confirmed breakouts that are like, hey, this is everything is here. This is it. It's hit all of our buy signals. And what you do with that information is up to you. What kind of position you want to take in it, that's up to you. What type of risk tolerance you have, that's up to you. We're just showing you what our algorithm says. But the one that's really fun for those of you who are really into trading, who like to watch the markets daily, that's where we get those potential arrows where it's like, look, we have hit 66% of the criteria we need for this to be a breakout. Tomorrow, it has the potential to actually be a breakout. Get in. You can get in earlier than most of our as JC does it, you get in earlier than how I do it. I like to do the confirmed. JC likes to be there a little bit earlier.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty sweet. I love it. I think it's a great model. It works well, and it gets you in the good leaders because one fundamentally, we look for the best stocks on the market, and when you look at the strongest fundamentally sound companies, that inevitably is going to lead you to the good pricing. And all you do is just look for the stocks that are trading above their VWAP. It's the clearest signal ever, right? And what do I love about it is I don't even have to look at 100. I don't have to look at 50. I don't have to look at 10. I can just look at what the algorithm kicks out, which is anywhere between 2 to 0, right? Sometimes
Mhm.
6. Just look at those stocks and go, oh, I
Sometimes
like this one.
25.
So, yeah, yeah, there has been that many.
That's
Yeah, that's a little tiresome. That's a little tiresome, but it is great, and it saves so much time.
Mhm.
I trust. I know the model. I know the model works, so I know I'm getting a good signal. And it's all objective, right? It's just pure math. It's just the math that does the work for us, and it's tough to deny. So I'm very excited. It's a pretty good time. I mean, there's a lot of risk there. Oh, lost you, Matt.
Oh, we're good. It's just my camera decided it needed to overheat right now,
Oh, right on.
so now you
But
get the lower quality camera.
well, the market climbs a wall of worry. So that's an adage for a reason. So there's a lot of risk there. The first week of earnings passed, right? We were concerned about what companies were going to say, and there were some good responses. So
Mhm.
that's overall the market's positive and it's trending higher, and you have to take advantage of that. And
Yep.
that's exactly what we're doing. Just be prepared to know that. I mean, this could very well be a bear market rally. They do rally 13 to 16%, and that's kind of right where we're at. We're trending right above the VWAP, which tends to be right when sellers come in. So there is that very real risk. But like we've shown, a lot of these stocks will just continue to move higher. You can build some of that, take some of that risk out by taking some profits early, which should then allow you to withstand some of that potential downside correction that might occur.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just follow the process, and you don't have to worry about what ifs, right? You set your rules in place and make sure everything works, and that's what processes are for. Takes all
Yep.
the emotions out of it, and that's what we try to do. We try to take the emotion out of it for you, so it's just very simple. Boom, boom, boom. No second guessing, no wondering what ifs, and it's a pretty sweet model.
Absolutely. So. That's it for us for our weekly review here on Vwapvision Stock Talk. So thank you for everybody on Spotify who's listening, on YouTube who's watching. Make sure you grab that like and subscribe button there. For those who want to follow us on our social media, find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. We're on all of those medias. You can learn more about us and even more about this process on our website, vwapvision.com. That's VWAP And as we've been touting this whole time, if you really want the goods, you want the guts of what we do and why, subscribe to us on Patreon, patreon.com/Empire Algorithmic Trading. It's pretty simple. It's $20 a month. That's less than $1 a day. That gives you all of these right in your both inbox and on your Patreon. You can watch more of us. There's some educational videos on our Patreon, but also you get access to those algorithmic arrow reviews to be first in line for what we are seeing as incredibly positive stocks. Also, first in line when a stock is looking like it's about to fail. Anything that has been on our list that's looking like it's about to fail, you get daily updates on that as well. So patreon.com/Empire Algorithmic Trading. And with that being said, Jace, what do we always say?
Happy trading, everybody.
Happy trading.
All right, Matt. We'll see in just a little bit. We got chart review and then we've got arrow review. So I'm excited to see what the algo comes up with. There were some new stocks that made the watch list this week, so I'm pretty excited. All right, Matt. We'll talk to you later.
See you then, bud.